Creating windows with high detail has always been one of the challenges of modeling in 3ds Max. In this video, I suggest two methods for modeling windows. The first method is very accurate and detailed, and the second one is to use a script which is very fast. So let's begin. Hey there, I'm Bezat and you are watching the 4th episode of 3ds Max Club series. Well, in the previous parts, the modeling of the project was done so far. And in this part, we're going to model the windows of the villa. But before we start, I want to show you a very useful command from the modifier panel which is called Bevel profile. In this regard, I'm going to draw a rectangle. Well, let me just tell you a tip. This white bracket which surrounded the rectangle is called selection bracket, and I think it's not much useful in modeling, so if you want to get rid of it, just click on the third viewport label and select active viewport settings. By doing that, a new dialog will appear, and just go to the preferences tab and deselect the selection brackets. So let's continue. As you can see, I have a rectangle here and I'm going to assign a bevel profile modifier to it. To do that, select the rectangle and just go to the modifier panel and expand the modifiers rollout and find the bevel profile and click on it. Before working on parameters of bevel profile, I'm going to assign the base material to rectangle to be seen better. Well, as you can see in the parameters section of the bevel profile modifier, there are two options, the classic and the improved one. And by selecting each of them, the parameters changing accordingly. So first, let's work on the improved bevel profile and check its parameters. Okay, the first parameter is extrusion and extrude segments, and it is no different from the extrude command we learned before. As you can see, I'm increasing the value of the extrusion using its spinner and also its segments, but I think it's not necessary to add any segments to the extrusion form. The next section in the command center of bevel profile modifier is beveling, and it is so important, so pay attention to what we want to do. Bevel height controls the height of the section that beveling occurs, and by increasing or decreasing its value, it reflects on the object in the viewport. Well, as you can see, there is a rollout in the beveling section, and if you expand it, it contains some preset for beveling section. For example, I'm gonna choose the concave preset from the rollouts, and as you can see, it's reflected on the object in the viewport. Just let me change the viewport shading to the clay mode so you can see it better. Alright, as you can see, each of these presets in the rollouts has its own profile. But if you want to make any changes on these presets, you must click on the Bevel Profile Editor button. Okay, once you click on it, this dialog will appear. From this dialog, you can control the profile which modifier use it to bevel the object. For example, I want to make some changes on the profile and see the results on the object. So to do that, just click on this Auto Update button here, and after that, if you move the mouse cursor on the edge of the profile, the pointer icon will change. Once the mouse pointer changed, you can click on the edge to create a vertex on the profile. So now you can change the shape of the profile by moving the vertex you've just created, and as you can see, it reflects on the object in the viewport. By the way, if you've created a profile section and you want to use it in your project, you can easily save it as a preset and it will appear in the rollout. If you just create a node on your profile section and you wanted to delete it, you can use this button over here. The next section in the command panel of Bevel profile is capping, and it contains two rollouts, the start capping and end capping. And if you expand the rollouts, you can set your desired capping style. Okay, now that we have worked on the Bevel profile modifier, it is time to use it to model the windows of this project. So in this regard, I'm going to draw a rectangle which represents the frame of the window that I want to model it. So let's just go to the Creation tab, and from the Shape category, just click on the Rectangle button and then activate the Autogrid option up there. Now you might say that what is the Autogrid option? Let me tell you briefly. For example, assume that you have a slope plane like this, and you want to draw a box on it. If you just draw the box without checking the Autogrid option, the box will be created on the origin surface, and it won't be stick to the desired plane, and it might be necessary to do the transform commands on it like rotating and moving, but by checking the Autogrid option, this problem will be solved. And you can easily create anything on the surfaces with any direction and angle. So now let's continue. Okay, as you can see, by using the snap tool and Autogrid option, I've just created a rectangle and placed it on the window location. The next thing I'm going to do is importing the section of a UPVC window. To do that, just click on your desired file and drag it to the viewport of 3ds Max. By doing this, a pop-up menu will appear. Just click on the import file. So here we have a spline, but there is a problem with it. It just looks like a pipe. To fix it, let's just select it, and from the modify panel, expand the rendering rollout, and after that, uncheck the enable in the viewport option. Okay, as you can see, the problem is fixed and we have a normal spline here. Okay, now let's just select the rectangle and the section of the window and isolate them to work better on them. Okay, the next thing that we have to do is to detach this spline to two separate splines. And we have practiced this command before. All you have to do is click on one of the splines and then click on the detach button from the command panel. So now let's just select the rectangle and assign the Bevel profile modifier to it. So in this case, I'm going to use the classic state of Bevel profile modifier. And after that, from the Bevel profile section, just click on the pick profile button and then select the spline that you have detached. So as you can see, the beveling has done, but the direction of the profile isn't correct. And you might not be able to see that, but I'm going to use a slice modifier and you will see it better. So let's select the frame and then assign the slice modifier to it. In order to have a perpendicular slice on the frame of the window, we have to rotate the slice plane. And for doing that, expand the slice modifier from the stack box and then select the slice plane. You can now implement the transforming command on the slice plane. After setting the slice plane perpendicular to the frame of the window, check the split mesh option from the parameters of the modifier. This option allows you to divide the object into two elements from the location of the slice plane. After I did that, now I'm going to assign an edit poly modifier to it, and then I'm gonna move the splitted element along the y-axis. So as you can see, now I am able to see the section of the window with this technique. And obviously the profile we used for the frame of the window has beveled in the wrong direction. So to fix it, let's just go to the stack box first, and then expand the bevel profile modifier and select the profile gizmo. Once you have clicked on it, a new profile will appear in the center of the frame. By performing the transmission commands on this profile over here, the cross-section of the frame also changed depending on it, which can be seen in the viewport. So as you can see, I'm using the rotate command to fix this problem. Okay, now the frame is matched with its profile, and let's do the same steps for the upper profile of the frame. So first I will take a copy of this frame where it is located. To do it, just select the frame and then press the Ctrl and V button. And after that, the clone option dialog will appear. Just check the copy option and click on OK. Well, you might not be able to see that, but we have two frames over here which are overlapped each other. And if I move one of them a bit further, you will get it. Now this is what I'm going to do. I will select one of the frames, and after that I'm going to select the bevel profile modifier, and then I'm going to change the profile. As you have seen, this was so simple. And now let's just delete the edit poly and slice modifiers that we assigned to the object. And then let's move the profile gizmo a little so that the frames of the window placed correctly. Let me tell you another tip here. If you wanted to zoom on an object and then move it on a specific axis, and the transforming gizmos were not visible there, you can just use this lock button over here. All you need to do is constrain the movement on an axis and then select the lock button. After that, by dragging the object in any side, you will be able to move it in any zoom level. Okay, as you can see, the frame of the window isn't located in a proper way. So to fix this, I'm gonna expand the Bevel profile modifier from the stack box and then select the profile gizmos, and after that I will move it a little bit in the y-axis. The window that is located in this side of the villa consists of 3 pieces. So to model that, I'm gonna assign an edit poly modifier to the inner frame of the window, and after that, by moving its vertices, I will reduce its size. And after that, I will model the next 2 pieces using the array tool. Okay guys, as you can see, we have modeled a very detailed window over here using the Bevel profile modifier, and I highly recommend you to practice it over and over so it won't be any problem to model a window or a door using this modifier. But there is also another way to model the windows. It is much more quicker but with less details. Here I want to introduce you a script called Loom, and if you want to use it frequently, you can have its button in your user interface, and here I will show you how. First, just open the scripting tab and then select the open script. And from the dialog that has appeared, open the script from the folder that located it. Once you did that, the codes of the script will appear in a new window. Just select all the codes with Ctrl and A button and then click and drag it to an empty place in your ribbon. You can also change the label and its appearance like this. Okay, now I want to show you how to work with Loom Script. First of all, you have to create a box in the place of the window. But notice that you have to set the dimensions accurately, because the box will convert to a window. Okay, while the box is selected, click on the Loom Script button. So by doing that, the script will run and a new window will appear. So in this case, I want to create a detailed window with frame width of 5. So all you have to do is click on the Create Windows in Selection button, and after that, click on the Apply Default Materials. Alright, as you can see, we have modeled a window just in a few seconds. And the way we did that was so simple. Okay, the window over here needs to be edited a bit. And in this regard, I'm gonna assign an edit poly modifier to it. And then I'm gonna work with its vertices and take some copies of it. And we have worked the process that I want to do now. That's why I put this part of the video on high speed so that you don't get bored. But I remind you again that in order to increase your speed in modeling, you must have a lot of practice. Just do the workflow over and over and don't get tired, because it is these daily exercises that ultimately lead to big differences. Okay friends, that's all for this video and I hope you enjoy it. If you have any questions or opinion, leave it to the comment section below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for getting more tutorials. Take care of yourself, see you in the next videos.